Everton scored first, and I was thinking, I might be an Everton fan. But we managed to turn it around 3-1. So from that moment, I become a Red forever.
Yes, Stevie.
You okay?
You good? Good to see
Very
you,
well
man.
yourself.
Honest to meet you. Honest to meet you.
You all right?
So welcome to What I Wore. You're probably the most requested guest on this show, so honest to have you here. So basically, we've got a collection of shirts to tell your life stories. We're going to start with you growing up right up until management. So as a tradition, we always get our guests to wear a shirt. So because you're a special guest, we're giving you two options. So we're either going to go with the match worn Crown Paints Ian Rush, which I think is the first shirt you ever had, or we're going your debut Liverpool shirt. Which one are you going with?
It's very tough because Ian Rush is a massive hero of mine, and when I first started watching Liverpool, that was the shirt that brings back all the memories as a fan. So I want to go with Ian Rush.
Ian Rush, yeah?
Yeah, Rush before Gerrard all day.
Okay, cool.
It's a bit snug, but works. It works.
Yeah, you look good.
Thank
so
you.
talking about kits as a player, did you like the look of a kit?
I think once I started playing for the first team, I was interested in the feel and the comfort. When I was a kid, it was just I just wanted the badge. See that badge? It was just like, Mum, get me a Liverpool kit. It doesn't matter whether it's home or away. Just get me the kit, because I was a fan. And when the matches were on TV, you know, sitting there with my dad and my brother, you needed the kit on.
Beautiful. So you grew up in a town where it's obviously half red, half blue, family on both sides. Was it difficult to decide the colours that you wanted to support?
Well, you certainly had the freedom. I mean, straight away that reminds me of Peter Reid, who's from the area where I'm from. This cup final actually swayed me to be a Red. The 3-1 in '86, Everton scored first, and I was thinking, I might be an Everton fan. But we managed to turn it around 3-1. So from that moment, I become a Red forever.
Growing up in Liverpool, harsh environments?
The type of player I was, it certainly started from the street. Getting knocked about by older kids and playing on the gravel and being out all day, every day, certainly gave me the right grounding and where the football technique started, really.
So did you play, like, as we know you as a pro, left everything out there, passionate? Was it like that in the streets?
Oh yeah. I'd come into the house with grass, like gravel burns, stones in my knees, cuts on my elbows, bruises everywhere, and that's where it all started. I don't think I'd have been the type of midfielder I was unless the big kids knocked me about and toughened me up. And I had an older brother as well. He used to always play with his friends, so that's where it all started.
You joined Liverpool as a youngster. Growing up in Millwood, was there a vibe in the city that there was so many young talent coming through, and did that kind of spur you on? For
sure. So a lot of local lads just before my time had broke through. Robbie Fowler, Steve McManaman, Don Matteo, Jamie Carragher, and I wanted to follow in their footsteps. So they're the guys that I watched, and I was like a sponge around them, learning different things off them. Michael Owen, who's the same age as me, broke through before me. I was almost jealous of him getting all this fame and stardom.
So speak to me about like being a young pro, very different from today. Like we got the governor's boots here.
He was the governor though. Incy was someone who could step his game up at any given moment. Sure, yeah. Left foot, right foot. I ended up following in his footsteps to wear this number. I wanted to be number 8. It wasn't available at the time, so one had 7. Incy was left-footed, right-footed. Anything he could do as a midfielder, Incy was the man. Growing
up as a young pro, did you have to like wash kit, or like did you have to clean boots? Like what was the culture like?
I was an apprentice under Paul Ince, Jamie Redknapp, all them type of people, and I used to clean their boots and basically do whatever they needed. Put the kit out, wash the kit. If they wanted me to go to shop, I'd go to shop. But that's the way. That's a good schooling, you know, doing jobs and staying humble and trying to not just become a good footballer, but being a decent human being as well.
So we're going to move on to your debut. So boyhood club, growing up loving this team, you walk in the change room, you see your name printed out in the change room for the first time. What is that feeling like?
Probably the best feeling, one of the best feelings I've ever had in terms of football. It was a dream come true right there. The first thought was, that shirt's going to be well too big on me. I need to get in the gym and get bigger. But the opportunity to wear this shirt for real in front of the cameras was a dream come true for me.
I remember you were telling a story about what this guy did to you.
Wow. Schooling, absolutely destroyed. I mean, you're talking about one of the most gifted wide men of the Premier League era. He could go left, he could go right, he was 6'3", he was powerful, he was good looking, he had everything. He had the lot. But that was an absolute lesson for me on my debut. He absolutely tore me apart.
Beautiful. So we're going to move on slightly. Gerrard Houllier era, 2001.
That kit reminds me of success because we managed to win the treble. We also managed to qualify for the Champions League for the first time in that kit. And that was probably the one of the strongest Liverpool teams I played in. It had Didi Hamans, Marcus Babbels, Michael Owens, Robbie Fowlers, Jamie Carragher.
Prime, innit? Like
well,
Ballon d'Or.
That was his cup final. That was his cup final. I mean, what a player back then. He had a hamstring injury that I think set him back. But before the hamstring injury, which was these kits, I'd say he was one of the best strikers in the world. We got absolutely battered by Arsenal on the day, the Invincibles, and Michael Owen won us that cup final. So these shirts remind me of that treble era.
One thing me and my friends always talk about is like a player like Silva or Kevin De Bruyne, they can just be world-class players, but because you are Liverpool born and bred, you become captain. Do you feel the whole weight of the city in this shirt?
Yeah, it was certainly a huge responsibility to take the captaincy on at 23 years of age, especially with other leaders in the team like Carragher and Hippier, people who are older, more experienced. But I never ever see pressure as a negative. I always see it as a challenge and a responsibility that you should thrive on, especially if it's your city and your club. I've certainly got good memories in that kit. That's when I became a man on the pitch and really had to mature and play like a man.
Rafa comes in from Gerrard Houllier. How did he like change the philosophy of the club and also you as a player?
I think from a position point of view, he learnt me the game. Certainly in the big games around Europe, where do you need to be, how disciplined you need to be. It's not about running around and burning off unnecessary energy and making too many runs. It's about making quality runs. It's about being disciplined in and out of possession. So Rafa took my game from good maybe to the next level, which he's probably the best coach in terms of tactical that I've worked with.
All right, 2005, we're going to get to the Champions League final, but when I have to take out this kit here, I've got to mention this game and that goal.
At Liverpool, in front of the Kop, you never give up. You've got to keep fighting right till the end, and as a team, we never gave up. Lucky enough for me, I caught an absolute wonder strike, and I've played for 15, 17 years as a professional. Olympiacos goal is certainly in my top three.
When I think of like striking the ball, I always think Gerrard in a Liverpool shirt. Yeah? Does that technique just come naturally to you?
No, I mean, I've been working on that for 4 or 5 years of age. You know, kids who aspire to play in the Premier League or at the top level, you've got to be in the streets, you've got to be on the 3G, the 4G, working on your technique, left foot, right foot. And I've scored that goal in the street many a times. And I've also fluffed me lines many a times on the big stage, but luckily enough on that day I got me lines spot on.
All right, so let's get to the game. 2005, Istanbul. Talk to me about the whole day. You wake up in the morning, is it nerves? You walk in the change room, you've got the Champions League final imprinted on the shirt. What's that whole feeling like?
It's weeks before. It's going around in your head. Am I going to be a Champions League winner? Am I going to lose a final? You've got massive fear of losing it, but you've got to keep putting yourself back in the opportunity mode. We've got an opportunity. Anything can happen in a final. I think in terms of on paper, AC Milan were much stronger. Player for player, man for man, it was a mismatch. But I think the message for young kids is if you're part of a team and everyone's pulling in the right direction, you can achieve the impossible, even when you're 3-0 down. The best night of me footballing life, I don't think I could have played for another 50 years, I'd have never have beat that game.
So we're going to move 12 months later after Istanbul, another 3-3 final, this time FA Cup against West Ham.
Yeah.
Like, dubbed the Gerrard final, wearing the same shirt as 2005 in Istanbul. Do you look at this shirt as like a lucky omen? It's
certainly got fantastic memories for myself from a personal point of view. West Ham were fantastic on the day, probably the better team over the course of the 90 minutes in the extra time, but we scored at important times, and that's what you've got to do in cup finals. Probably one of my best performances in a Liverpool shirt. Do
you know what you really did with that goal? Yeah, you like ruined playground football. Because every time in school, yeah, guys would think if they just scream Gerrard and shoot, it would go in, and it's like.
Listen, if that didn't go in, I'd probably still be getting a lot of grief off Jamie Carragher now to this day. So thank God it went in.
Yeah, beautiful. Another Champions League final repeat in this shirt.
Yeah.
Adidas now. This time, like you're saying, it was a mismatch in 2005. Did you feel that in 2007?
I think we had a little bit more confidence in 2007 because of what happened in 2005. But again, the challenge was the same. AC Milan were much better than us, man for man, player for player. And they got their breaks on the day. You need a little bit of luck and breaks in cup finals. We never got it. And sometimes you've got to hold your hand up and say the other team were better. And AC Milan certainly deserved that cup final. That's the final I've got a lot of regrets. I'm not sure we played the right team, the right system. but we certainly didn't deserve to win the game on our performance. You have to hold your hand up and admit that at times.
So then next year comes in.
That just reminds me of Torres.
You know, I'm ahead of you.
As soon as I see that shirt, that is Old Trafford. Torres just destroyed the whole Man U back four on his own, and he could turn average passes into good passes just by his pace and his power. He could finish, and I think we got the best Fernando Torres. If you look at Fernando Torres' career, we got the best 2 years as Liverpool people because he was absolutely on fire in that kit. You couldn't stop him. Yeah. He was frightening.
This guy's scary.
I think the arrival of him took us to the next level. He made us competitive again. World class, the best player pound for pound I've played with.
Really? I was going to ask you which are the best strikers out
of
the three.
I think out of the three, I'd say Suarez, Torres and Rooney from an England point of view. They're probably the best three.
Nice. And then talk to me about that season, Brendan Rodgers season 13-14.
Well, if you look at all the fantastic memories that we've gone through there, this one has the opposite feeling.
This one here?
Yeah. Not just that kit, even the Liverpool kit as well, the Warrior one. We had a fantastic team. We should have won more together, and obviously we missed a fantastic opportunity. I obviously take full responsibility for the part I played in it, for sure. But unfortunately, over the course of the whole 38 games, we fell short towards the end, and that's a regret I've got to live with for the rest of my life.
Last game at Anfield, you got such a warm reception. Was it okay to take off the weight of the shirt also?
I've never ever looked forward to that day. I knew it'd come one day, but that was probably. I loved the reception I got, but it was the worst day ever because I knew it was coming to an end, and I wouldn't represent Liverpool again, which even now thinking about it is very emotional.
So now, left Liverpool, went over to Los Angeles. LA Galaxy, beautiful kit by the way.
Beautiful kit. Yeah.
What were the biggest cultural differences in Liverpool and LA?
I think the lifestyle was fantastic. For me, I needed it. With my Liverpool career coming to an end, I needed a different challenge. I needed to be away from the city for a short while, just to reflect and decide what to do next. So I had to adapt to the soccer, if you like, and it is different. But I certainly enjoyed seeing my career out in a different city, a different culture, and I think I needed it. After so long in the same city, I needed a change. So
obviously in the UK, you're probably one of the most recognisable faces. Was it like that in LA?
No.
Like you could just go to get a pint
I could go and sit in a coffee shop and I could just be anonymous. But it was nice to be able to do whatever I wanted, when I wanted, and no one really knew who I was. That was a nice touch.
Debut England, number 2 on the back. What was that like wearing the 3 lions for the first time? As special as Liverpool, what's that feeling?
I think it was a mind-blowing situation really, because I walk into the England setup and I'm sitting around Tony Adams, Alan Shearer, Gary Neville, David Beckham, all people that I'd watched on the TV and I'd looked up to and I wanted to emulate. So to get that kit on at Wembley for my debut, probably the last number I'd pick, but it didn't matter. As long as I had the 3 lions on, it was obviously a fantastic moment for myself and my family to represent my country for the first time.
Talk me through some of the England kits that you played in. Which ones did you like?
This Germany one obviously was a player I represented England in Euro 2000 that came on as a sub. That was Dietmar Hammann's shirt, I think. So to obviously represent England in a major tournament was a dream come true, and I think it's the pinnacle of a lot of players' careers to represent your country in a major tournament.
Okay, last question on England. What was your favourite kit to play in?
Probably one of the later ones. I really enjoyed that kit because we used to wear white shorts with it, and I do enjoy full white kit.
That's my favourite. That's the first kit I actually had as a child.
Yeah, that is one of my favourites. Yeah.
How hard was it to transition from the kit to the suit, almost like from the players?
Well, I think at Rangers there's a tradition that you have to wear a suit. I'm not sure whether it'd necessarily be my choice because I like being comfortable in a tracksuit. So we'll have to see moving forward what we decide. But with Rangers, they like the manager to be in a suit. The club's a very traditional club and they like you to look smart and classy. So that's the reason why I wear a suit on the side. But I'm enjoying it. The transition, I think you have to adapt. You're not going to be a good manager just because you've worn all these kits and you've been a player. I think you have to go back to the beginning and learn, do your badges, study the game from a different aspect. And it's something I'm learning on the job, and I'm really enjoying the gig.
Now, obviously, you play for Liverpool, so you're used to massive rivalries, United, Everton. What about this rivalry against Rangers and Celtic? How massive is that?
I think it's certainly up there. with the biggest rivalries I've experienced. It's aggressive up here. Two fantastic clubs, the two biggest clubs up here. So obviously, when the old firms are coming about, the build-up's going to be really interesting. And look, we're doing everything we can to close the gap and try and challenge them and do our best to become number one up here again.
Last question. We're in a burning building. You've got to save 2 shirts. So one is based on your best moment in a football shirt. The second is based strictly how the kit looks. So if you like an Everton shirt here, we'll keep it between us two.
No, that can go.
Okay, so go first one. Best moment in a football shirt. What shirt are you keeping with you?
2005.
Simple.
All day.
Yeah, all day?
All day long.
Best looking kit here out of this collection?
I'd probably say this one.
That's beautiful, yeah. Nice, Gerrard, number 8.
Kenny Dalglish one.
Beautiful.
Patrick Everton.
Love that.
Yeah.
Gerrard, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.